Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News's first post-match live stream. It's April 23rd, and Barcelona just took home three very, very important points as they have defeated Atletico de Madrid 1-0 at the Spotify Camp Nou by one goal from Ferran Torres. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for those who are already watching, and thank you for those who will be watching the stream once it ends. As I announced before, I will now be making live streams right after Barcelona matches end to review the match, to talk about what happened in the match, to talk about the players' ratings, etc. And hopefully we can get a discussion and a match analysis going on. And this is to add to the live streams that Barca News already holds, which is on Mondays and Wednesdays at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So again, starting today, every time a Barcelona match ends, I will be launching the live stream to do a post-match analysis. I'm very excited for this. This is the first one, so I'm very excited to see how it goes. Now, for the midweek matches, there might be a problem with my work schedule where sometimes I might not be able to do post-match analysis live streams. But if that's the case, I'll definitely let you know in the community tab. So make sure you check the community tab. And for that, you do have to be subscribed to the channel. So make sure you subscribe, and also make sure you hit the like button on this stream. It definitely helps this channel. It helps with the algorithm, with YouTube recommending this video to other people. Now, I see a lot of you already in the chat. This is very exciting. Just like the live streams on Mondays and Wednesdays, I think I'll talk a little bit about the match. Then we'll head to the comment section or to the chat so we can get a discussion going. But let's start with the news. Very, very important news that Barcelona just defeated Atletico de Madrid 1-0 with one goal from Ferran Torres. This is very important for Barcelona's title hopes. You know, Real Madrid won yesterday 2-0, so they were able to cut the distance between them and Barcelona to 8 points. And now that Barcelona won, we took home those three very important points. So now it's back to 11-point difference. I think it was very, very important that we win this match. This was probably the most complicated match that we had left in the last stretch of the season. Atletico Madrid were on top of their form. They had gone 13 matches unbeaten. In fact, the last time Atletico de Madrid lost a match was back in January, which was at the hands of Barcelona as well. Atletico Madrid have also gone 6 matches, have won their last 6 matches, consecutive matches. So they were the best performing team in La Liga since the restart of the season after the World Cup ended. So this was definitely the most complicated match that Barcelona had left. It was very important to win it. It was also important to win it because had we lost, that 8-point difference between us and Real Madrid would have definitely put us in the red zone. You know, that would have given Real Madrid that motivation or hope, I guess, to try to cut down the distance, because 8 points is not a lot. You only have to win 3 matches to cut that distance. So it was very, very important that we took home those 3 points today against Atletico de Madrid. Now, as far as the match itself, this wasn't Barcelona's best performance, but nonetheless, it was much better than the performances in their last 2 matches against Girona and against Getafe. I think when Barcelona started the first half, they looked very nervous. They looked like they were not really concentrated. They were making a lot of silly mistakes. They were losing the ball. And when they were attacking, they were just resorting to the same tactics against Girona and Getafe, which is just sending long passes to the attackers in hopes that something happens. And as a result, we saw Atletico Madrid create a lot of danger in the first half as a result of Barcelona's lack of concentration and Barcelona's silly mistakes. I don't know what happened in the halftime, but thankfully Barcelona were able to get back on course. They were able to correct a lot of mistakes, and the team looked a lot better during the second half. They started moving the ball a lot quicker. They started associating between each other much better. We saw first touch short passes, and the team looked much, much better. And as a result, they were able to create a lot of chances on goal, which unfortunately we were only able to make 1, but nonetheless, the chances were there, and the team looked much, much better during the second half. Now, I think we still have a problem in closing out matches. You know, the last 5 to 10 minutes looked very chaotic, very very nerve-wracking. It looked like Atletico Madrid had any chance they could have been able to score a goal, and if that would have happened, we would have been in big trouble. But thankfully, that didn't happen, and we were able to win. But again, Barcelona looking very nervous and not looking good, closing out matches. Before Barcelona were able to close out matches with possession, keeping the ball, making sure that the other team didn't have it and didn't create any danger. But for some reason this season, this is not something that the team is able to do. And we end up looking like almost desperate towards the end, asking for the referee to blow that whistle. So it's definitely something that the team needs to work on. Now, the goal by Ferran Torres was an absolutely spectacular goal. It was a great play by Rafinha, who's able to hold on to the ball until Ferran Torres makes it to the box, gives it past to Ferran. Ferran controls it really nicely. And then the most beautiful thing about the whole goal was the actual shot, the way Ferran Torres put it right in the corner. It was a beautiful goal. Great, great goal. And I'm very glad that Barcelona were able to take home those very three important points. Also, great saves by Mark ter Stegen. I think these 3 points are just as his as they are the team. He made 3 crucial stops against Antoine Griezmann. And if it wasn't from ter Stegen, I mean, we could be talking about maybe a 1-3, maybe 1-4 score. So great, great performance by the German goalkeeper. He's having an outstanding season. Ever since he decided to opt out for that surgery over the summer, we found out that ter Stegen had been dealing with pain the last 2 seasons, and that's why his performance had dipped. But he opted out for the surgery at the end of last season. He spent all summer recovering, doing physical rehab, and doing strength training, which is something that he wasn't able to do before because of the injury that he had. And ever since, his form has been spectacular. He is on his way to win the trophy, Zamora trophy for the best goalkeeper in La Liga, which surprisingly is something that he hasn't won in the past, despite him being the best goalkeeper or one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Now let's head to the comment section. Let's get a discussion going. Let's see what you guys thought about the team's performance. And then we'll talk about the individual players and about Xabi's lineup. Lots of comments in the section. Lots of people watching, 59 people, but only 20 likes. Let's make that 59 people watching and 59 likes. Lincoln says, what a game. Definitely great game. Let's go. Bisca Barca, says Salim. Ella says, who else aside me enjoyed Barca's possession? I don't know if Barca's possession was necessarily the best. I think there was a lot of loss of the ball. First half was definitely not good, and then end of the match wasn't good. Second half, much, much better as far as the possession. Moose says, great win today. I agree. Very important win. Moose also says, Ferran, the unlikely hero. Great match by Ferran, but I'll touch that in a little bit once we talk about the individual players. Mark says, weird seeing your room with sunlight coming in. I know it's weird to do these videos so early, but, that's all thanks to Javier Tebas. I mentioned this in the previous video, but today is Saint Jordi. It's a huge holiday in Catalonia, and usually in the past years, La Liga used to refrain from scheduling matches for Barcelona on Saint Jordi, just out of respect to Catalonia so they can celebrate their holiday. But this season, it looks like Javier Tebas is still insisting on screwing over Barcelona. So he not only decided to schedule this match on Saint Jordi, which is today, but he also did it in the middle of the day. It was at 4 p.m. Barcelona time. So, which is a very, very dick move by Javier Tebas. He could have, if you're going to at least schedule it on a holiday, at least schedule it at the end of the day, 9 p.m., when people are done celebrating. But instead, he put it right smack dead in the middle of the day when people are all celebrating this holiday. So, yeah, you could thank Javier Tebas for the light in my room. Chunky says, Ferran Torres, the greatest athlete of all time. I don't know about that, but definitely great performance. El says, Lewy needs some rest. Yes, we'll talk about that again. We'll discuss the individual players in a little bit. Dang, I need my glasses. Guys, I'm going blind. Ricardo says, what a way to start your first live stream, Mo. Thank you. Let's see what else. Aqua says, can we admit that Lewandowski has been awful for a while now and he's becoming selfish? Again, we'll talk about that in a little bit once discuss the individual players. And Daryl says, Frankie and Pedri just bring different vibes in the game every time, right? Absolutely, 100%. the team definitely missed these two, and I'm very, very glad that they're both back. Now, let's talk about the individual players, and then we'll get the discussion going. Let's start with the lineup. We saw Ter Stegen in goal. Again, phenomenal match by the German goalkeeper. He's at the top of his form. This is the Ter Stegen that we all fell in love with several seasons ago, making very crucial stops. I mean, it was thanks to him that we scored. I think he's Ter Stegen takes the credit more than Ferran Torres, who actually scored the only goal, just because if it wasn't for Ter Stegen, I mean, Atletico Madrid could have scored at least 3, maybe 4 goals. So this win is hugely in part to Ter Stegen's heroics. Great job by the goalkeeper. I would give him a 10 out of 10. I don't know. You guys let me know in the chat. Jules Koundé played in the right back position. Good match by Koundé as always. He didn't participate much in the attack, but nonetheless, defensively was solid. He made, I think, 1 or 2 mistakes, but they weren't really crucial mistakes. But overall, great performance by Koundé defensively, not so much offensively. So for that, I would maybe give him 7.5 out of 10, maybe 8. Ronald Araujo, I mean, there's nothing to say about this guy. Absolute beast. This guy is a bull. He's everywhere. Made very crucial tackles. Was everywhere you needed him, on the right, on the left, in the middle, running up front to help with the attack, coming back to defend. Ronald Araujo was all over the field. Great saves by him. Just as important as what Ter Stegen did. Maybe not as much, since Ter Stegen did prevent several goals, but there was definitely 2 or 3 tackles that Araujo made that could have ended up in goal, or at least in shots at goal. Great performance by Araujo. I would give him a 9 out of 10. Marcos Alonso was the other center back. Not the best match for Marcos Alonso. He did have some good saves, but he also had some 2 mistakes where it could have ended in goal. I think the problem with Marcos Alonso is he's very good when Barcelona are defending as a block, but the moment Barcelona advances their lines and they start attacking, that's when Marcos Alonso has a problem, because if Barcelona are caught in a counter attack, he has a very hard time tracking back to his area to defend. He's very slow. We saw him make that tackle out of desperation because he was getting beat. I think it was by Jimenez. I can't remember who the Atletico Madrid player was. He ended up getting a yellow card, which forced Xabi to substitute him with Eric Garcia. And for that, I would give Marcos Alonso maybe a 6 or a 6.5. Eric Garcia came in for Alonso. He had a decent match, not a great match, not a bad match either. He did what he was supposed to do. There was one mistake where he gave the ball away to Atletico Madrid, but overall, an okay match for Eric Garcia. I would give him a 7. And then on the left back, we had Alejandro Balde. Great match by Alejandro Balde. Defensively, offensively, not so much. I think he made several mistakes. There was a lot of ball losses. But again, he's 18 years old. He's still learning. He's still developing. He's still gaining experience. He still was good in defense. Again, attack. He made several mistakes. But for that, I still give him a 7.5. Let's go head back to the comment section. See what you guys think about so far the goalkeeper and our defensive line. And then we'll move forward and we'll talk about our defense and our attack. Okay. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Chunky says, if we can't get Vitor Roque, we have to look to sign Firmino or Alba. I disagree. I think if we can't get Vitor Roque, we should look to get another center forward who's young. I think I mentioned, both Orban Gift and I'm blanking on his name, but the Danish guy, Hojland. They're both 20 years old, long career ahead of them. Bringing Alba and Firmino is just... They're both old. They're both towards the end of their career. I think it would be a huge mistake. Why would you want to substitute one old center forward for another old center forward? It makes no sense to me. Plus, we would be falling in the same trap as before, having an old Asian squad. I mean, right now we're in the rebuilding phase. Let's rebuild the right way. Let's bring young players with future ahead of them, not players who are near in retirement. We don't need that. We already have Lewandowski, who's 34. Why would you want to bring another 34-year-old? And Firmino, I think, is 32 or 33. I can't remember. But again, both towards the end of their career, it wouldn't make sense to me. Why on earth did Xabi bring on Eric? Because Alonso had a yellow card, so he didn't want to risk it. That's why he brought on Eric. And also, Alonso was making several mistakes. Good decision to bring Eric. Carrasco was cooking. Hopefully we can get him. We can't get him in the summer, or we can get him in the summer, Chunky. I think you meant we can get him. I'm not a big fan of Carrasco. I mean, is he a good winger? Yes. Is he maybe better than what we have right now as far as Ferran and Ansu? Sure. But he's not really a player that's difference maker. He's not really like that player who's going to make the squad that much better. And since Barcelona are so limited on how much they can spend and how many players they can sign, I think we're better off looking for a winger who can, make that big difference or make that big jump in quality. I don't think Carrasco is it. Okay, L says, bro, did you notice something about Garcia? He's a perfect fit for CDM with his passes and vision. He's not a defender. I agree. I think Xabi should give him more matches as pivot for Eddie Garcia. I know people like to hate on him. I talked about it before. I don't understand why. The guy is young, very talented. He just needs more experience. But I think because he doesn't get much playing time and he's on the bench, people like to blame him for stuff. When players don't get much spotlight, they usually get scapegoated because, a lot of times people just want to find a reason why the team is underperforming. They don't know what the reason is, so they just start spitballing. And I think those on the bench are usually the ones who take the brunt of it because, they're easy marks. Oh, well, that guy doesn't play. He sucks. That's why the team sucks. Relax with Jamal says Lewandowski is a stingy player. Yes, but that's the nature of center forwards. They want the ball. They want to score. Anyways, let's keep going. The chat is exploding. All right, let's talk about our midfield and our attack. We had Sergio Busquets in the pivot position. I think he did really well as far as distributing the ball. He always does an excellent job distributing the ball. He made a few mistakes when Atletico Madrid would transition to attack, but that's something that we've getting a little bit accustomed to. I think with Busquets, just with his age, has gotten slower. So when Barcelona are caught with their lines lines up in the front, and they get caught with a counterattack, I think Sergio Busquets really struggles to get back, and that's when you see him making silly mistakes. But nonetheless, good game by Busquets, really good with the ball distribution. I would give him a 7.5. As interiors, we saw Frankie and Gabi, and man, what a difference does it make to have Frankie de Jong. I think not only is he a good backup for Busquets, to help him in his defensive duties, but he is a very, very important player as far as breaking lines, just with the way he drives the ball to the front, either with his feet or with his passes. I mean, we definitely missed Frankie de Jong, and I'm very, very happy to see him back on the squad. I would give him maybe an 8.5. Gabi doing his thing all over the field, playing with intensity as usual, playing every match like it's the final of the Champions League. I mean, what a guy. I mean, the fact that we have Gabi on our squad, we're very, very lucky. I think more players from Barcelona team should learn from him, the way he plays with so much intensity, just all over the place. I give him a 9. We saw Pedri come in. We knew that Pedri wasn't ready to play full 90 minutes. So Xabi brought him in the last 30 minutes. Again, what a difference makers to have Pedri. The way he just holds the ball in the midfield, the way he pushes forward with the ball. I mean, very lucky that he's back. I'm very glad that he's back. I think now that we have our midfield back, Barcelona should start looking a lot better in the upcoming matches because we're going to need it. We need to close this season strong. I think I would give Pedri maybe an 8 just because he didn't really play much, so I didn't see much of him. But the few minutes that he did, he played really well. In our attack, we saw Rafinha. Excellent match by Rafinha. Very decisive, making the right choices. Again, he couldn't dribble past players, but we get it. He's not a dribble, but nonetheless, he made excellent passes. He associated well with his teammates. Great match by Rafinha. To me, the best out of the whole attacking line. I would give him a 9. Great match by Rafinha. My only problem is with Rafinha is that he cannot keep up that performance. That's something that people keep missing when they criticize or they talk about Rafinha. I always attack Rafinha because I say he's not really a player who creates danger on the wings because he doesn't know how to dribble. So when he runs with the ball, if he sees a defender in front of him, he either tries to dribble past him and loses the ball, or he either gets scared, he stops and makes a back pass. So he doesn't create any danger through the wing. And he also doesn't create danger because since he doesn't know how to dribble, opposing teams know that. So they usually just send one guy to mark him. So that leaves the other Barcelona players marked. So that's kind of like a double not creating danger type thing, as opposed to Dembele, who gets the ball, dribbles past players, and then makes those dangerous passes to the box, which makes them very dangerous. But then teams know that. So when Dembele gets the ball, they send 2 or 3 players to mark him. So if Dembele can't create danger by dribbling past defenders, he'll make a pass to the center, and there he creates danger there because there are players, Barcelona players, who are left unmarked because the opposing team have to send 2 or 3 defenders to stop Dembele. So I always criticize Rafinha about that. And people, are always make excuses for him. Well, he's not really a dribbler, or that's not really his profile, or Xavi's using him in a different profile than what he's used to at Leeds. But all those are valid points, but they're not good enough reasons to say Rafinha should stay on the team, because, and this is why. Is Rafinha a talented player? Absolutely. Does he give you great performances? Yes, he does. But the problem is that Rafinha doesn't give you great performances in the great majority of matches. And in order to be a Barcelona player or a player of any big club, you have to be able to perform, have great performances at least 80, maybe 90% of the matches. I understand you can't expect your players to have great matches every single match. That's impossible. Even the greatest athletes on earth have bad days, but you got to be able to deliver at least 80, maybe 90% of all matches. And that's the problem with Rafinha. He's not a player who really performed. He's able to maintain a high level of performance. And that's a big problem for clubs like Barcelona and Madrid, because big clubs play 3 competitions at the same time. They aim to win all competitions at the same time, and to sacrifice half of their matches by having players who can only perform well half of the time, it means you're out of the 3 competitions, or you're only going to be able to win 1. So big teams like Barcelona, like Madrid, are always looking for players who can perform for the great majority of the matches, and that's not Rafinha. Rafinha gives you great performances. He gives you 1 great match, and then he ghosts for 10 matches. And that's the problem with the Brazilian. And there's plenty of examples of him in other leagues. Even in the Spanish league, we have players like Iago Aspas. We have players like Canales. These are very talented players, very gifted players, very technical players who are really, really good, but they play in mid to low table teams. Why? Because even though they give you great performances and they are very talented, if you follow them or track them throughout the whole season, you realize that they're only able to do that half of the time. They can't maintain that high level of performance. And that's why they play for mid to lower table teams, because the bigger teams are not interested in players who cannot give you a high performance in the great majority of the matches. And I think that's the problem with Rafinha. And that's why, in my opinion, he should be offloaded. But nonetheless, great performance by Rafinha. Great assist to Ferran Torres. I give him a 9, maybe even a 9.5. Great match by Rafinha. On the other side, we had Ferran Torres. Good match by Ferran Torres. Much, much better than his previous matches. Huge improvement. I always said Ferran Torres is a great player without the ball. He knows how to position himself well. He knows how to draw defenders away from his teammates. He knows how to read the field. He's very intelligent that wise, but it's when he gets the ball that he makes silly mistakes. And today he was much better with the ball. He made maybe 1 or 2 mistakes, but nonetheless, he associated well with his teammates, and his goal was a phenomenal goal. Great match by Ferran Torres. I'll give him an 8 out of 10. Hopefully, we see more improved performance by him, but nonetheless, great performance. Lewandowski. Whew, my God. Robert Lewandowski. What a horrible match by the Polish striker. We've talked about how Lewandowski hasn't been able to score much in the second half of the season because he's not getting the ball from the wingers. Today, he got the ball, did not make the best of decisions. He had that 1 great play where he dribbles past 2 defenders in Atletico Madrid, goal wide open. He should have shot it. Instead, he decides to do 1 more dribble and go past another defender. And by then, too late. It was totally unnecessary. There was an extra step that he didn't need to make. He should have been able to score that goal. Another one by himself, gets the ball in front of Oblak. He should have passed it to Rafinha, who was coming in, was onside, was not offside. It would have been an easy tapping goal. Instead, he decides to take the shot himself, completely misses it. I get it. That's just how center forwards are. They're selfish players. They want the ball. They want to score goals. I get it that he wanted to score and not give it to Rafinha. But if you're going to be selfish and not give it to your teammate who's in much better position to score, you better make sure you score that goal, and he didn't. And there was a lot of bad decisions. There was that goal that Rafinha missed where Lewandowski gave him the pass and it bounces off his thighs out. Some might blame Rafinha. Yes, he should have gone in a little bit more ready to push the ball in, but I think the pass by Lewandowski was too strong. I mean, he shot that like he was shooting it at the goal instead of as a pass. Lots of mistake by the Polish striker. I think it's starting to weigh in on him that he's not able to score. You know, that's natural to happen to center forwards when they go too many matches without scoring. And unfortunately starts to weigh in on their confidence, and it looks like that's what's happening. It also looks like fatigue to me. You know, he has played every single match, and this is why it's very, very important in this summer transfer market that we get a center forward to rotate with him and give him some rest. But horrible match by Lewandowski. I'll give him a 6. Terrible match. We saw Ansu Fati come in for Ferran Torres the last few minutes. Can't really give him a score. He didn't do much. You know, he was there only 2 or 3 minutes on the field. We saw Frank Essi come in also. Again, can't really give him a score. He didn't do much. I would have loved to see Lamine Yamal. You know, he got called up for the first time to the first team. But I get it, Xabi. You know, he was trying to remain with his first squad players because we were only up by 1-0. Atletico Madrid were attacking. So this was not perhaps the best match to try to experiment with the younger players. But I definitely hope to see him in the match against Rayo Vallecano at least. You know, if we can establish an early lead, maybe we'll see him then. All right, I feel like I've been talking for a very long time. So let's see what you guys are saying, and we'll keep the discussion going. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Man, the chat is really blowing up today. I guess because it's an earlier stream, more people are watching. Again, 78 people watching, 50 likes. Let's make it 78 people watching, and 78 likes. All right. Where did we leave off? There's a lot of comments, guys. All right, we'll just start from the bottom then. Okay, Chonky says Rafinha isn't consistent. Exactly, that's the problem with him. Again, great match today, 9 out of 10. He had a great match against Sevilla, but that's the problem with Rafinha. He'll give you one great match and 10 bad matches. Moose says Atleti players look like they were trying to re-injure Pedri, only stomping on his ankle. Yeah, very harsh fouls on Pedri. I don't think they were doing it on purpose. It's just like how their style is. They're very defensive, very aggressive. Very bad. I actually got really worried when I saw Pedri. I think it was the first time he got stomped on and he wasn't getting up. I got really, really scared. My heart skipped a beat, but thankfully he was fine. Okay, we'll see. Ferro says, bro, I got scared for Pedri. Yup, agree. Il Foucault says this guy hates Rafinha, but rates Dembele. Again, I've told you a million times on the comments. If you don't like what I have to say, you don't have to watch my channel. It's simple as that. You know, I'm here to share my opinions, hear what people have to say. If you don't like it, that's fine. There's plenty of Barcelona channels that you can watch. Abbas says, but he gets his chance in the 1-versus-1 against Oblak. You guys should shine your eyes. Lewandowski is no longer the Lewandowski at Bayern. I don't think he's not the Lewandowski at Bayern. I think, you know, he's struggling a lot because he wasn't getting the ball from the wingers for the longest time, and that's why he wasn't able to score. And when you go a long time without scoring, that weighs on you. And we used to see it with Suarez, where he would go like so many matches without scoring. That's just the nature of center forwards. Center forwards, you know, they want to score. That's all they care about. And when they can't score, it starts to weigh on their confidence. And that's when you start seeing like goal droughts. And I think that's what we're seeing with Lewandowski alongside fatigue. He's played every single match. We don't have anyone to substitute him with. So that's the thing, the problem. I think next season he could be better if we can get better wingers to associate with him better. If we can get another center forward that can rotate with him, I think we'll see the old version of Lewandowski. But yeah, terrible match by the Polish striker. Definitely needs to improve. Let's see. Where did we leave off? My God, this chat is just moving quick. Chunka says, how was the pass by Lewy too hard? It was a difficult angle, and his body was not in a position to make that pass, but still made it. Yeah, it was a difficult pass, but I think he shot it a little bit too hard, and that's why it ends up bouncing off Rafinha's thighs. I think Rafinha wasn't expecting a pass that hard. But yeah, I don't know. That was how I perceived it. Okay. Let's see, one more, and then we'll wrap this up. We're already at 30 minutes. Ruin says Barcelona creates so much but can't finish, and that is unacceptable because we get punished every single time we play a good opposition. I agree. We did create a lot of chances. We weren't able to finish. I think we're horrible in the final third of the field, and that definitely needs to improve. And it has to do with our attacking line. Again, we definitely need an overhaul of our attacking line, especially with the bench. You know, we have good starters with Lewa and Dembele, but we need a better bench to rotate. You know, Ansu and Ferran are not doing much. Rafinha, you know, that gives you one good match, then goes for 10. We just need to change our attacking line. Ferro says, hey, Mo, I have a question. Who do you personally think was the best player at defense today? For me, it was Araujo, but Eric Garcia put on an amazing performance. I would say Araujo, no doubt Araujo. He made so many crucial tackles that could have ended in goals and could have ended at least in shots at goal. Definitely Araujo. Yeah, good match by Eric. Good match by Kunde and Balde as always, but definitely Araujo. I mean, I think Araujo, if he's not in the top 3, he's definitely, in my opinion, he's the best center back in the world. But if not, he's at least top 3. But anyways, let's wrap it up, guys. Just a reminder, there will be a news video later on today. So just because I'm doing a live stream doesn't mean that there's a news. There won't be a news video. There will be one. Lots of good news later. So make sure you stay tuned for the channel. I think the last thing I want to say, horrible refereeing. Can't remember his name. Terrible refereeing. Was not really applying that criteria equally. I think he was calling more fouls on Barcelona than he was on Atletico Madrid. There was also a completely different tone when he was addressing Barcelona players versus Atletico Madrid. When Barcelona players would argue with him, he would like yell at them. He would get all standoffish. Looks like he wanted to fight them. But when Atletico Madrid players would complain, he would like pull them to the side, explain to them, like tell them why they were wrong. Not a good refereeing at all. There was a clear penalty on Gavi. Gavi gets the ball. DePaul kicks him from the back. Should have been penalty. Should have at least been reviewed. Totally missed it. Not good refereeing. I think the campaign, the whole Real Madrid and mainstream media in Spain campaign with the whole Enrique Negreira case is definitely having its effect, where referees are now scared to call fouls in favor of Barcelona, scared to call penalty kicks in favor of Barcelona because they might feel that they're favoring Barcelona, since that's really the message that the mainstream media have been playing in Spain. Not good refereeing at all. But nonetheless, we were able to take this very important win home. 3 more points, back to 11 points on top ahead of Real Madrid. There's 8 matches left. I think the next 4 matches are going to be like every 2 or 3 days. So it's going to be a little bit of a calendar. But nonetheless, there's going to be, besides the Rayo Vallecano match, after that is 2 consecutive matches at Spotify Camp Nou. So it's looking good for Barcelona because this was the most complicated match that we had left. It's out of the way. We have a lot of home matches left at home. Hopefully the team now with Pedri and Frankie de Jong back, hopefully the team can continue performing well. We should get Dembele back against Real Betis next weekend. So hopefully all that will help us wrap up this title and continue getting wins. So that is it, guys. Maybe I'll do a couple more comments. Adam says, what about Vitor Roque? Any news? No news about Vitor Roque yet. And Roy says, Barca should leave Spain and move to France. Yeah, that'd be funny, but, you know, there's more money in La Liga than there is in Ligue 1. So I think if we did, that'd definitely not be good. But anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for participating in the chat. Thank you for watching. Thank you to those who will be watching the stream later. Again, there's going to be a video later on today with all the Barcelona news. Tomorrow, Monday, we'll have your usual scheduled live stream at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Mondays and Wednesdays. And now, starting today, we'll start doing the post-match analysis through live streams as soon as the Barcelona match ends. Thank you again. I'll see you in the news video later on today. And as always, Visca Barça.